Well, this week marks 1 year since congestion pricing took effect in New York City, charging most drivers an extra toll if they enter Manhattan south of 60th Street. And city leaders this week unveiled new data to back up why they're calling it a success. 27 million fewer car trips into Manhattan, safer streets, and hundreds of millions of dollars flowing into mass transit. But for the drivers paying that toll, largely from New Jersey, questions about fairness and whether traffic and pollution were just pushed across the river remain. Joining me now is Renee Reynolds, Executive Director of the Tri-State Transportation Campaign, to break down exactly what the data shows 1 year in. Renee, good to see you. Thanks for coming on. So a lot of drivers, I don't have to tell you, worried in the beginning that congestion pricing would have a negative effect on their commute. What do we know about how it's actually affected folks who drive into the city?
Absolutely. So this Monday, we celebrated the anniversary, or most of us celebrated the anniversary of congestion pricing. And the data has been very positive on pretty much every measure. Traffic is down 15%. The revenue that was slated to be generated, we've actually exceeded 500 million and have raised nearly $550 million. And we're also seeing air quality improvements. Greenhouse gas emissions in the Central Business District have reduced by 6.1%. Transit ridership is up, and commutes into the Central Business District have gone down.
Is there any evidence, Renee, of increased traffic or pollution spilling into North Jersey neighborhoods as it was feared in the beginning?
Absolutely not. We have not seen what has been the major concern, which is that there would be this major diversion of traffic to other areas. And I think that speaks to the plan, right, and its success in hopefully diverting folks from unnecessary trips into the Central Business District, getting folks out of their cars and onto mass transit, which was the goal from the beginning.
And yet, it's funny, you know, anecdotally, when I speak to folks who do drive in, a lot of folks who work in sort of off hours, they say they don't feel any difference, that it still feels just as congested as it did prior to the congestion pricing going into effect. Does that mean, though, that it's not working? 27 million fewer cars is nothing to sneeze at, even if the benefits don't seem very visible to everyone who does drive in?
Interestingly enough, you are speaking to someone who drives in from
There
New
we go.
Jersey. I'm a New Jersey resident and I commute into the city often. I drove in today, and there is a clear and obvious difference for me in my commute pattern. I've seen my time into the Central Business District reduce sometimes by 15, 20, even 30 minutes, depending on the day. So I think there's going to be more time. There has to be more time to evaluate the traffic patterns and to see when and where there might be better reductions in commute time, and when there might be sort of the same kind of sense. But I, as a driver, have seen significant reductions in my time getting into the CBD.
Fair enough. So we talked a little bit about the money that's been raised. It's exceeded expectations, as you mentioned, $550 million. What do we know about how that money is being spent and where it's being spent?
Sure. I think one of the most important things to point out is that this has been a very comprehensive plan. It's not just about MTA, although there is a pretty significant amount of money that's going to be spent on transit improvements for New York City for MTA. Including money to modernize our signal systems, increase accessibility through the construction of new elevators, which is, long overdue. But then there are also 13 communities within the region, that's including New York and New Jersey, who are now eligible for investments in their communities. These are mitigation strategies to make sure that we're upgrading school air filtration systems, that we're renovating green space and open space, that we're investing in roadside vegetation and air filtration to improve air quality, not just in the central business district, but in all the communities that surround it.
So is it an unfair criticism then, particularly from early on, from drivers who said, you know, I'm footing the bill to generate revenue for these programs with little direct benefit for me, you know, driver here in New Jersey? Is that then an unfair criticism if we're looking at it big picture, or how do you play that?
Well, I don't think that it's an unfair criticism, but I think critique can go the other way as well, right? Why should people who live in the central business district, who are trying to get their kids to school, you know, face the threat of dangerous roads because of the volume of traffic coming in, or bear the brunt of the burden of the air quality that comes from the emissions from our vehicles? I mean, I think there's responsibility to be held on both sides of the equation. And so for me, congestion pricing provides an opportunity for drivers who are coming into the CBD. We know that we have an impact, but we are contributing to an improvement as well.
Very quickly, there are still lawsuits pending, still opposition from the federal government. How secure is the program moving forward? We're 1 year in. Obviously, we're looking at the long haul. How secure is it?
Well, I'll probably leave it to the attorneys to figure that out, but I think based on the track record thus far, based on the lawsuits that have already been litigated successfully by the MTA, I think that there has been great positioning, that the program is solid legally. So I don't have a doubt that we'll be able to make it through the passage of the remaining lawsuits.
And would you say, Renee, that public sentiment over this, public opinion, has shifted where there was a lot of opposition early on? Would you say that that's now folks have come around, or that maybe once they see some of this hard data, some tangible benefits, that they may come around?
Absolutely. I think that public opinion was very much frothed in the beginning. And in the early start of congestion pricing, you could see it play out on social media. Folks who were really upset about congestion pricing, but then ended up seeing, you know, smooth travel into the central business district, whether from Brooklyn or, you know, through the Holland Tunnel, through the Lincoln Tunnel and the various other crossings. I think we got some converts. And if the program continues on pace, as if folks continue to think about alternative modes of transportation and just balancing out their commute practices, I think we will see even more positive outlook on the program.
Yeah, I've never met anyone who said they don't like less traffic. Renee Reynolds, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.